Hello, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining me. If you follow me, I usually like to talk about free speech and things. And right now, my attention has really been dominated by the Charlie Kirk stuff. It's disgusting what I'm seeing online. The people that are celebrating his death is shocking to me. Probably do a story on that later. These people are just deranged lunatics, and it's showing. You should be able to disagree with somebody without shooting and killing them and then celebrating their death. And I don't even care if everything they say is true about him. I don't really know. I didn't really follow him. I don't think I've ever done a video on Charlie Kirk, but I'm going to go watch some of his videos now. So they've really turned him into a martyr. But it doesn't matter to me. Even if his opinions were, as they say, racist, misogynist, and I don't know if they are or not. I tend to doubt it, but I'm going to go review his videos and see, and then I'll make a video on what I think. He shouldn't have been shot. Even if his views were racist, he was just sitting there talking to people that would come up and talk to him. He didn't make anyone talk to him. He would sit there and then he would say, "Hey, is there anyone here who disagrees with my views on things?" And someone would raise their hand and said, "Hey, you want to come talk to me?" And he would hand them the mic and let them talk. And then he would debate them. And it could be an aggressive debate and they didn't agree most of the time, but they had that debate. And I think that that's okay. And then at the end of it, they could walk away from it. Well, today, Charlie Kirk can't walk away from that debate. And that's not right. Even if he was all the bad things they say he was, he shouldn't have been shot. I'm going to put that down in a line, as a line in the sand. And all the people celebrating his death are terrible people. And if you don't like me, don't watch me. If you disagree with that opinion, just don't watch me. It's okay. I don't mind. But if you want to have a civil discourse about it and tell me why I'm wrong in a civil way, feel free to tell me in the comments. Well, hopefully we can put this behind ourselves soon for America, for the good of America, because it appears that they've caught the shooter. I saw this story in The Sun. There's lots of reports out here, and it's early. I think they must have only caught him in the last couple of hours, or they've only announced it in the last couple of hours. So thank God they've caught him, and now we can find out why he did what he did, and he can get justice. So let's see what it says here in The Sun about it. I have not read this article. I just know that this guy's been caught. And I believe he was turned in by a family member. That's all I know. And he's from Utah. That's what I had seen before I started looking for articles. The U.S. Sun, and I'll link this article. We got him. Charlie Kirk suspect Tyler Robinson, 22, arrested after dad turned him in and his sick messages plotting shooting found. Suspect allegedly plotted the assassination on Discord. This story was published today, 9:15 Eastern Time. That's only about not even an hour ago. This video, my wife, my killer. No, this looks like it's an ad. So let's read the story. So here's the accused shooter, Tyler Robinson, 22. The man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University has been caught after his dad turned him in. Suspect Tyler Robinson, 22, was arrested on Thursday night, ending the sweeping manhunt following the assassination. And yes, this was a political assassination. And I think that's why this hits me so hard. This is the first political assassination that I've witnessed in my lifetime. Kennedy being shot, Martin Luther King Jr. being shot. That was before my time. Robert Kennedy being shot. Those are things I don't remember. And other shootings, there's a little bit of distance. You don't actually see them. I pulled up X the other day and I watched a man being shot in the neck and dying up there on a podium at a speaking event. I was not expecting to see that. It's out there on Twitter if anyone wants to watch it. I'm not going to play it. I don't advise anyone to play it. It's rough, but it is out there. And I think that's why it's so kind of visceral for me. I actually watched this man die. So here's the alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, 22. Here he is. There's a bunch of videos that have been released. This was one of the very early ones, very early still. There are better quality footage of him out there than this. This was just grainy video off of CCTV at the university. So here's Charlie Kirk here. This was just before he was shot sometime. Here's the crowd. He was just sitting up there doing his normal thing. He's got a desk and he talks to people. And he hands them the mic and has debate. And I'm sure he was invited here. Nobody was forced to come watch him, I don't believe. All right, so here's another still of the shooter. It appears he was up on this roof and he jumped down on the left and he jumped down off the roof and then he basically blended into the crowd. That's how he initially got out, it appears. So footage released by FBI shows a person of interest running on the UVU lawn after Kirk was assassinated. Robinson is accused of firing a single shot that struck Kirk 31 in the neck and killed him during a speaking event at the University of Orem, Utah on Wednesday afternoon. "We got him," Utah Governor Spencer Cox said at a press briefing on Friday morning. Robinson, a Utah resident, confessed to his dad that he was the shooter and was told a family friend who called law enforcement to the scene on Thursday night, Cox said. Police reportedly found messages on Robinson's Discord account where he appeared to plot the assassination and afterward told his friends that he had changed clothing after the shooting. Officers arrested Robinson on Thursday night at St. George near Zion National Park, about 250 miles southwest of the campus where Kirk was assassinated. President Donald Trump announced the arrest in an appearance on Fox News on Friday morning. What we know so far: the suspected assassin has been taken into custody after a 2-day manhunt. Donald Trump announced on Fox and Friends he was turned in by somebody very close to him, Trump said. Chilling footage shows the suspect fleeing after the shooting. Pictures and video released by the FBI show a person of interest wearing black long-sleeve shirt and sunglasses. The student speaking to Kirk as he died broke his silence. Yeah, I saw him. I'm not going to play it, but the guy I think he was in tears. He basically asked him a question about what he thought about all the mass shootings. He said something like, "I was trying to show Charlie that we were the good guys. We weren't the people shooting. We weren't the mass shooters. It was the right that were shooting people. And then we shot him right in front of me." That young man's having a bad day today. Charlie Kirk's body was taken back to his hometown in Arizona. J.D. Vance actually flew to Utah when the family took his body into custody after it was released by the medical examiner. Vance flew it back to his hometown in Arizona on Air Force Two. This is a big thing for America. Charlie Kirk was an important political figure. Kirk's widow, Erica, was seen for the first time since his death. And yeah, the people that are cheering this on or that are happy or even, implying he deserved it, one thing they're forgetting is this guy had a wife and 2 little children. They're now all having to deal with not having a father. I'm all for canceling all the people that are celebrating this. If you're celebrating this, I hope we find you and we out you and you get fired, because this is just not acceptable behavior. This is your evil and this is your mental illness on full display for the world. So keep showing us who you are, so that we can find you and root you out and shame you in the public square and fire you. I hope companies fire everyone who is celebrating this. And I personally will actively boycott if I come across a company that employs some of these people. I won't do business with you. I'll go out and I will tell people what you are doing, because I'm so angry about this. 2 people previously taken into custody were released, including an elderly man hauled from the scene in handcuffs. Yeah, there was an initial video that people said was of the shooter, and there was an elderly man. It says elderly, he's probably my age, and he was down on the ground, and the police were arresting him. And it was reported that he was the shooter, but you have to take everything with a grain of salt because he was in the crowd. And Charlie was obviously shot from a distance. And they've said he was shot from about 200 yards from on top of a roof with a .306 hunting rifle that they're everywhere. Anyone could buy one of those. The FBI offered a $100,000 reward for information. Utah's governor said officials will seek the death penalty for the shooter. Good. He deserves the death penalty. He murdered someone. I don't want him out in society ever again. I'm fine with that. And I don't even care if people say he's mentally ill. I still don't want him out in society, and I'm fine with him getting the death penalty. I do not want this person to be able to walk free in public ever again. Trump posthumously awarded Kirk the Medal of Freedom. So yeah, the Presidential Medal of Freedom is the highest civilian honor that America can bestow on someone. So that was nice of him. I know I'm rambling. I'm just in shock still. I think with a high degree of certainty we have him, Trump said. Trump said a minister who was involved with law enforcement spoke with Robinson's dad and was able to turn him into the police. Okay, so it was a Dad told his minister, and his minister went and told him. Yep. Robinson's dad, Matt, is a 27-year veteran of the local sheriff's department, Daily Mail reported. Yeah, it's got to be awful for Dad because Dad has now also lost his son. So this is going to be a tough time for that family, and I feel bad for them. Social media accounts appearing to be associated with Robinson and his family show a happy family with 3 sons. The pictures show the family on vacation, Robinson graduating high school, pictures of him posing with guns. Cops said at a press conference on Thursday night that Robinson will face the death penalty if convicted of the assassination, which officials are calling a targeted political assassination. News of the arrest came hours after the FBI pleaded for public help by releasing pictures and video of the suspect. Manhunt clues. After the shooting, cops recovered the rifle used by Kirk, along with video footage showing the suspect and more evidence pointing to his identity. Yeah, the rifle, it's been reported, was a 30-06 Mauser bolt-action rifle. They've been making these for 80-odd years. Very common rifles that you would take hunting deer. Cox confirmed on Friday morning the rifle had bullet encasings that were engraved with anti-fascist messages. Timeline of the Kirk shooting. Looks like he got onto campus at a little before noon. The event started at noon. About 10 minutes into the event, the shooter fired from 200 yards away, hit him in the neck. I watched it. I was praying that he survived, but in my heart I knew he didn't. The neck wound, I don't know if that was the entry or exit wound. It definitely looks like it got him in the carotid artery. If he didn't get to a surgeon within a matter of a minute, he was a dead man. At 1 o'clock, the president posts a call to pray for Kirk on Truth Social. Then they closed the campus. At 1:50, they confirmed he was in critical condition. And at 2:40, they confirmed he had died. So about 2.5 hours after the shooting, they confirmed he passed away. Some of the inscriptions included messages, "Hey, fascist," and "If you read this, you are gay." The person of interest was seen publicly for the first time in pictures released by the FBI. The images showed him appearing to climb a stairwell. Investigators said at the briefing that the shooter had climbed up to his rooftop perch where he shot Kirk from before jumping off the building and disappeared into the woods. He blended in easily with the college crowd, police said. Another shot of the shooter on the stairs. Security was lax. This is just a guy speaking at a college campus. I think the police said there were 6 police officers assigned to the event, and he also had his own security detail. But they would have been focusing on someone close in with a handgun or just troublemakers that were trying to cause a fight. I don't think in anyone's wildest dreams they thought there'd be a sniper. And that's really the scary thing now. In America now, conservative speakers are going to have to worry about snipers because people on the left are killing them. It's a fact. And so all this rhetoric about the violence that the right is perpetrating, okay, give me some examples in my comment in the comments. And I know there are some, but I'd say it's a 90-10 issue. More of the violence is coming from the left, in my view, and they're the ones shooting and assassinating people. Again, tell me if I'm wrong here. They later released a chilling video of Robinson running across the roof after allegedly shooting Kirk. In the footage, he can be seen jumping off the building and fleeing the scene. Robinson evaded cops for more than 24 hours after Kirk was killed from a rooftop 200 yards away. And I hope they release the footage of gunmen, getting away. They probably will not release any more footage of Kirk getting shot because it is pretty graphic. The conservative firebrand was hosting a student debate event at UVU when he was fatally shot. It was the first stop on the tour organized by Turning Point USA, Kirk's nonprofit conservative organization that he founded when he was 18. All right, and then here's something about Kirk's background. I'll let you guys read that later. You can check that out in the link. His wife Erica and 2 young children were in the crowd when he was shot to death. Moments before he was fatally struck, Kirk was responding to an audience member's question about mass shooters. Horrifying footage from the rally showed the moment Kirk was hit and began gushing blood as the panicked audience screamed and evacuated the outdoor event. A video taken at the scene showed a figure dressed in black lying down on a roof, and after the shot was fired, running across the roof to escape. It's unclear who was shown in the video. Here he is just sitting on the stage. just before he was shot. This looks like a shot from the shooter's firing position. Looks like they've got little red marks, so they've probably tagged like evidence that's there. I think they said they collected like palm prints and arm prints. So I was pretty sure this was an amateur shooter and not a professional. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, but I don't believe a professional shooter would have left that evidence. They said they found a boot print, and I think he actually missed, but he still killed him because a professional shooter, in my view, would have shot, for the chest or for the face. And at this range, a professional shooter, I think this would have been an easy shot. But I think he made a mistake. He forgot, or he didn't properly account for he was shooting from up high, so he needed to fire a little bit low, and he got that wrong. And that's why it hit him in the neck, because he made that adjustment incorrectly. And that's not something that your average soldier or even gifted amateur would train for, because they generally train to shoot from a horizontal position. Only highly trained snipers would really have experience in shooting from elevated positions. So he made a mistake, achieved his objective. Police initially arrested 2 people after the shooting who were later cleared and released. The false alarms raised speculation over FBI Director Patel's handling of the investigation, but the White House defended his leadership in a statement on Friday morning. Yeah, it was too quick to judge. You got to give it some time to let the FBI do its job. Yeah, the optics were bad when Patel said that they had a suspect in custody. You just need to wait these things out until they're sure. So I think Patel probably jumped the gun a little. He shouldn't have said anything. But just because he shouldn't have said anything doesn't mean I think he was incompetent. He made a mistake. Director Patel is working night and day on this case. Anyone who doubts his resolve and dedication, especially when Charlie was such a close friend to him, simply is using this extremely sad moment in disgusting act of political gamesmanship, the White House said. The focus is justice, and this killer will face the full wrath of the justice system. Yeah, and I think it hits hard to Patel because Patel knew the guy and Trump knew the guy personally. So that's what I think. Let me know what you think. This was a sad day for America. Political violence is never the way. We need to be talking to each other and not hating each other and living in our own bubbles. That's not the way. This is un-American. And no, before people say this is a good reason to get rid of guns, no, it isn't. We need the right to self-defense from lunatics like this. And people that are saying it's irony that he was shot, that also annoys me. They're actually implying that he deserved it, or they're normalizing him being shot. And we don't need to be shooting people that we disagree with. We need to be shooting bad people that are trying to physically harm others, and we need to shoot to stop them. That's it. We don't need to be shooting people who just want to have a conversation with you. Well, let me know what you think in the comments.